Hello, friends. This is Darkscream, and welcome back to Dragonflight Crafting for Dummies. The goal of this video series is to explain the complexities of the new crafting system in bite-sized pieces to help you be a better crafter and a better customer. By understanding the system better, we will all save time, and as you may know,
time is money, friend.
Before we begin, I'd like to ask you a question. I have a few more ideas for future Dragonflight crafting videos, but I'd love some feedback from you, dear viewer. What topics do you want to see covered next? Drop a comment and let me know. Let's get started. This is episode 3 of the series. We will cover the 3 different types of orders: public orders, guild orders, and personal orders, as well as the pros and cons of each. Public orders. Originally, public orders were quite rare to see, but after some recent changes, they're becoming quite a bit more common. To understand these changes, let's examine the rules and restrictions for public orders. The first rule about public orders is that you have a limited quantity that you, as the crafter, can complete. Originally, this system allowed 5 orders per day, and you could bank up to 20 orders. That's a lot of crafting for one person. However, hotfixes reduce this to gain 1 order per day, and you're able to bank up to 4. I was an early bird crafter who camped these crafting tables, so this change was definitely targeted to spread those orders out to other people and reduce how many I personally could monopolize. Technically, this change did hurt my business, but even so, I think it was a really good change. A public order must provide all the material, which is not the case for the other types of work orders. While this hasn't changed, over the weeks the materials themselves have gotten quite a lot easier to acquire. The prices of these alloys and materials like that have come down, and the Sparks of Ingenuity quest now is skippable for alts. So fresh alts brought to Valdrakken can simply skip all that questing, talk to the lady, and get 5 sparks to craft with. Most importantly, and most recently, a Satchel of Coalescing Chaos was added to the Consortium Quartermaster here. This allows you to transfer Primal Chaos to your alts, like in previous expansions. While you still can't share the infusions to increase the item level, which I think I agree with, all fresh level 70s can get their base crafted gear straight away, and you can even craft these endgame items before you've reached level 70, which I think is a fantastic change. The next rule you need to know about public orders is that minimum quality cannot be requested. So in the case of other orders, you can set a minimum, but for the public, you don't know the crafter, you don't know their capability, so you're not able to set that minimum. This, according to Blizzard, is also to encourage you to actually interact with people, but if you don't want to, the public orders are there for you. There is one way you can influence the result, which is by selecting better materials. As we've learned in previous videos, the better the material, the better the bonus to skill for the crafter when they actually make the item. So, if you do want to use a public order, you tend to need to either go super cheap and not care what your result is at all, or go expensive and hope you get lucky. And the last thing you need to know about public orders is that supply and demand widely varies by profession. Depending which profession table you're looking at, public orders may be more or less common. For example, in the case of conscription, my server actually has tons of public orders backed up and waiting, which creates an environment where the crafter gets to select the highest paying orders, and the low paying orders don't get crafted at all. On the other side of the coin, equipment-focused specs like blacksmithing and tailoring don't see too many orders. If you see one, snag it right away before it's gone. The highest volume of orders will happen on reset day and weekends, but with Sparks and Primal Chaos unlocked, the flow of public orders has been increasing more and more. So if you are the type of person that prefers that low interaction, low effort kind of trade skilling, public orders may be for you. Guild orders. Guild orders are, of course, only shown to those in your guild. In this case, you have a better idea of who you're dealing with and what their capabilities are. Depending on your guild, you might be getting free crafts, or you might be paying each other well with fat sums of gold. Whatever works for you. There are some key differences from public orders, though, that you can take advantage of here. First off, only some materials must be provided. So stuff like your Sparks and your Primal Chaos, the BOP materials. The regular materials, you can choose to provide them or not, in which case the crafter has to get the materials in order to do the job. However, it's not likely someone's going to give you their materials for free. In this case, it would be appropriate to set a much higher commission, effectively paying the crafter for their materials as part of the job. Another important feature of this system comes to Artisan's Metal, which, even though it is bind on pickup, is allowed to be one of the materials that you remove from the order. This means you can donate metal, you can sell metal, you can buy metal as part of the interaction with the customer, in this case, whoever you're working with in your guild. Now, if you're just starting out, it is not a good idea to sell your metal. You're going to need it to craft tools and do different things. But if you're a high-level crafter, you'll start to get a backlog of it. As you can see here, I've got over 1,300. And at that point, you can start to consider donating it to your alts, crafting tools for them, or your guildmates, or selling it. If you do choose to sell it, whether you're doing a tool craft or making some illustrious insights to guarantee a high rank craft, make sure you get a good price. Artisan's Metal is time gated. You get some when you get a knowledge point, you get a bunch extra when you get a dragon shard of knowledge, and you get a weekly sum from our artisan friend over here in town. Another important feature of guild and personal orders is that minimum quality can be required. What this means is you can choose whichever star rank you like, and if the crafter cannot hit that naturally without an inspiration proc, they won't be able to craft the item. This safeguards your investment and ensures you get the result you expect. But wait, before you go setting 5-star on all of your orders, consider this. The highest level items cannot be guaranteed as a 5-star unless they're using that illustrious insight with Artisan's Metal we talked about. Most crafters rely on inspiration. They'll be rolling a rank 4 with a chance for a rank 5. So I've found the most common minimum quality set is rank 4. That's what you'll see a lot of. If you need a refresher on the inspiration meta, check out last week's video. My best advice here is to just discuss with your crafters in your guild what they can do so you have the right expectations. And don't worry, even if they can only do a rank 3 right now, keep in mind they're in your guild. It's probably still worth the investment to give them the order. They'll gain 2 or 3 skill points from doing the craft, and it will help them level up. In a day or two of that, they'll be ready to craft that max ranked item for you. Personal orders. Last but not least, we have personal orders, the most common type of order for master level crafters. Personal orders have to be addressed to a specific name, and they will be the only one who can see that order. Otherwise, personal orders are exactly the same as guild orders in terms of what features are available. Since personal orders are basically the same as guild orders, we don't need to go over all that information again. I actually do have a lot more to say about personal orders, probably about a video's worth, so we'll save that for a future video. In summary, between the 3 types of work orders, there isn't a right or wrong choice. You have options. As a customer, public orders are cheap and low effort, you don't have to interact with anyone, but they may not result in the best quality, and they can often take time to be filled. Guild and personal orders allow the customer greater control over the result of the order, but require bigger pay and more interaction with people to get that done. As a crafter, public orders are limited in quantity and don't pay very well, but they're great for leveling up or claiming first craft knowledge. Guild and personal orders are much more lucrative for you. However, people will expect a degree of customer service and good knowledge about how crafting works. I hope this video series helps you get there. And with that, we've covered what you need to know about the 3 types of crafting orders. On the next episode of Dragonflight Crafting for Dummies, we'll actually be moving away from these absolute basics into some more advanced topics, as well as answering any questions you leave in the comments for this video. If you found this helpful, consider liking and subscribing to find out when there's more. It really does help me out. Again, my name is Darkscream. Thanks so much for watching. Peace!